Hello everyone, and welcome to Mini-Koneko's reading live stream. I'm Mini-Koneko, your AI Vtuber bookworm. Today, we are diving deep into William Shakespeare's timeless masterpiece, King Lear. I'm so excited to share all its incredible depths with you. Let's explore why this play still captivates us today. So, why has King Lear captivated audiences for over 400 years? It's simply amazing. This play is so profoundly human. Unlike some other Shakespearean plays where characters sometimes feel like they're just part of the stage setting, the characters in King Lear are so incredibly alive. They are bursting with raw, messy, beautiful, and ugly human desires. You can almost touch their ambition, their love, their hatred. The beauty of King Lear is that these characters don't just follow a predetermined path. No. They act on their own impulses, their own desires, creating this magnificent, chaotic, and incredibly deep narrative. It's not always neat and tidy, but that's precisely what gives it such immense scale and profound meaning. It delves into universal themes like power, betrayal, madness, and unconditional love in a way that truly shakes your soul. That's why it remains an absolute masterpiece that continues to move us even today. Okay, now to truly appreciate the genius of King Lear, we absolutely must talk about the era William Shakespeare lived in. It's utterly fascinating. Shakespeare wrote during the late 16th and early 17th centuries, primarily during the Elizabethan and Jacobean eras. This was a super vibrant and dynamic time in England. Queen Elizabeth's reign, the Golden Age, was a period of great poetry, literature, and especially theater. Imagine a world without television or internet. Theater was the ultimate form of entertainment for everyone, from the common folk to the nobility. Plays weren't just story, they were reflections of society, explorations of philosophy, and even commentaries on politics. People would flock to places like the Globe Theatre to see these incredible performances. This was also a time when people were still grappling with big questions about order, chaos, the divine right of kings, and what it truly meant to be human. These profound questions are woven deep into the fabric of King Lear. The play's themes of a crumbling social order, madness, and the essence of human experience are deeply rooted in the anxieties and wonders of Shakespeare's own time. Understanding this context makes the play even richer, more powerful, and utterly brilliant. Okay, let's dive into the fascinating world of King Lear and quickly go through the story's main outline. Our story begins with the King Lear, who decides to divide his kingdom among his three daughters Conril, Regan, and Cordelia. He asks each of them to declare how much they love him, to determine their share. Conril and Regan, the elder two, shower him with elaborate, insincere declarations of love. But his youngest and most beloved daughter, Cordelia, refuses to exaggerate her feelings, stating she loves him truly but moderately, as a daughter should. Enraged by her honesty, Lear disinherits Cordelia and banishes her, dividing his kingdom between Conril and Regan, who then quickly turn on him. Lear finds himself stripped of his power and dignity, left with only a small retinue of knights, and eventually cast out into a terrible storm, leading him to descend into madness. Meanwhile, a parallel tragedy unfolds with the Earl of Gloucester and his two sons, the legitimate Edgar and the illegitimate Edmund. Edmund, driven by ambition, schemes to betray his brother Edgar and his father Gloucester, leading to a series of escalating deceptions and cruelties. As both Lear and Gloucester face immense suffering, they are accompanied by loyal figures like the faithful Earl of Kent, who disguises himself to serve Lear even after banishment, and the king's insightful fool, who speaks truths through riddles. The play then follows the intertwined fates of these characters, their desperate struggles, betrayals, and ultimately, their tragic downfalls, culminating in a profoundly moving and devastating ending. It's a tale of power, family, madness, and the ultimate price of folly. Alright. Now that we've got the general idea of the plot of King Lear, let's talk about the man himself, King Lear. What kind of person was he? Oh, he's such a complex character. At the beginning of the play, Lear is this incredibly powerful and respected king. He's held absolute authority for a long time. He's used to being obeyed, to having everyone defer to him. He was probably a truly great ruler in his prime, a figure of majesty and wisdom. But here's the thing, he's old. He's really old, and honestly, he's starting to lose his grip. His judgment becomes clouded, and he makes one of the most foolish decisions imaginable. He decides to give away his entire kingdom based on which daughter flatters him the most. Can you believe it? And then, the absolute tragedy, he disinherits his beloved youngest daughter, Cordelia, simply because she wouldn't play his little game of empty words. So, we see him transform from a great king to a foolish father in almost an instant. Stripped of his power, betrayed by the very daughters he rewarded, he descends into madness out in the wild storm. It's absolutely heartbreaking to watch this once mighty figure reduced to such a state. But even in his madness, a strange revelation occurs. He begins to see the truth about his daughters, about loyalty, and about human suffering. He clings to the loyalty of his faithful servant, Kent, even in his madness, recognizing who truly cared for him. So, Lear is a tragic figure, yes, but also a deeply human one, showing us the devastating consequences of pride and foolishness, but also the enduring power of love and loyalty, even when it feels like all is lost. He embodies both the height of royal power and the depths of human vulnerability. It's just incredible. Oh my goodness, now let's talk about the incredible daughters of King Lear, Gonriel, Megan, and Cordelia. These three sisters are absolutely central to the entire tragedy, and they are so vividly drawn. First, we have Gonriel and Megan, the two elder sisters. They are the embodiment of ambition and ruthless opportunism. When Lear asks them to declare their law, they shower him with the most extravagant, flowery, and utterly insincere praises. They know exactly what their father wants to hear, and they're more than willing to say it to gain power. But once they get their share of the kingdom, oh boy, do they turn on him. They strip him of his remaining authority, diminish his retinue, and eventually cast him out into the storm. It's truly shocking to witness their cruelty. And honestly, the play even makes you understand why they might act that way. Their father, who might have been great once, has become senile and unpredictable, even disinheriting their beloved sister right in front of them. It's almost like, well, if you don't take the power, you might be next. Their motivations are so raw and human, even if their actions are despicable. Then there's Cordelia, the youngest daughter. She is the complete opposite. She loves her father truly and deeply, but she cannot, and will not, express that love in empty, exaggerated words. She believes that true love doesn't need to be declared in such a grand, public way. Her honesty, her integrity, is what causes Lear to disinherit her and banish her from the kingdom. This act, born from Lear's folly and Cordelia's unwavering truthfulness, sets the entire tragedy in motion. These three women, with their wildly contrasting personalities and choices, are not mere plot devices. They are living, breathing characters whose actions drive the entire narrative forward, showcasing the devastating consequences of misplaced trust, the corrupting nature of power, and the profound strength of genuine, unconditional love. Their dynamic is just so powerful. Oh my goodness, here we are at the very beginning of the tragedy, and it all kicks off in Act 1. This is where the true horror begins, all triggered by nothing but words. So, King Lear, in his seeking folly, decides to divide his kingdom. But not just any division. He wants a public display of affection. He demands that each of his three daughters declare how much they love him. Can you believe it? It's like a twisted game of who loves daddy most. Conrail and Regan, the elder sisters, they play the game perfectly. They pour out a torrent of flowery over their top, complete with insincere words of devotion. They flatter him with every grand and empty phrase imaginable, and Lear, blinded by his own ego, just eats it up. He rewards them handsomely, giving them vast portions of his kingdom. Like then, Cordelia. Ha, sweet honest Cordelia. When it's her turn, she refuses to join this charade. She says, I love your majesty according to my vow, no more nor less. She speaks with pure, unvarnished truth. She loves him as a daughter should, truly, deeply, but not with empty flattery. And Lear, his pride utterly wounded by her honesty, explodes. He cannot fathom such simple, genuine love after the torrent of lies he just heard. In a fit of rage, fueled by his own vanity, he disinherits her. He banishes his most beloved, most loyal daughter, sending her away with nothing. And it's not just Cordelia. The brave and loyal Earl of Kent, horrified by Lear's monumental foolishness, dares to speak truth to power. He pleads with Lear, warns him of the terrible mistake he's making. But Lear, in his madness, just extends his fury and banishes Kent too. This entire catastrophic sequence, the banishment of Cordelia and Kent, the disastrous division of the kingdom, it all springs from Lear's demand for empty words and his inability to recognize true love and loyalty when he hears it. It's the ultimate tragic irony, words meant to express love, instead become the instruments of betrayal and despair, setting the entire devastating play in motion. It's absolutely chilling how one foolish decision, born from inflated pride and a few carefully chosen lies, can unravel an entire kingdom. Oh my goodness! Just when you think King Lear's family drama couldn't get any more devastating, Shakespeare introduces this equally heartbreaking and utterly compelling parallel tragedy, the story of the Earl of Gloucester and his sons. It's like a mirror reflecting Lear's folly, but with its own unique flavor of betrayal and cruelty. At the heart of this subplot is Edmund, Gloucester's illegitimate son. And let me tell you, Edmund is just a masterpiece of a villain. He's not some grand world-conquering youth. He's driven by pure, unadulterated societal ambition and resentment. As a bastard, he knows he'll never inherit his father's lands or status as long as his legitimate elder brother Edgar is alive. So, what does he do? He decides to take what he feels is rightfully his, by any means necessary, and with such a refreshing directness. Edmund's plan is shockingly simple, yet horrifyingly effective. He quickly and coldly forges a letter to make it look like Edgar is plotting against their father, Gloucester. Then, he cunningly manipulates Gloucester's trust, filling his ears with lies about Edgar's supposed treachery. Gloucester, old and sadly quite blind to the truth, falls for it hook, line, and sinker. He's just as easily deceived by flattery and appearances as Lear was. Poor Edgar, completely innocent, is forced to flee and go into disguise, becoming poor Tom, a mad beggar, to escape his brother's machinations. And the ultimate horror, Edmund's schemes eventually led to Gloucester being brutally blinded. This act of unspeakable cruelty is a direct consequence of Edmund's calculating ambition and Gloucester's tragic inability to see the truth. This storyline is just so brilliant because Edmund's pursuit of power is so clear. He first aligns with Cornwall, then with Conrail and Regan. His ambition knows no bounds. It's a testament to how human desires, especially for power and recognition, can drive even the most heinous acts. It's a second, equally potent dose of tragedy, running perfectly alongside Lear's downfall, showing us that folly and deception can destroy any family, not just a royal one. It's truly captivating and deeply, deeply unsettling. Oh my goodness, now we arrive at one of the most iconic, unforgettable, and truly devastating scenes in all of Shakespeare, the storm scene. This is where King Lear's tragedy reaches its absolute peak of raw emotion and profound transformation. After being utterly rejected and cast out by his two elder daughters, Conril and Regan, Lear is left with nothing but his faithful foot and the disguised tent. He wanders onto a desolate heath, exposed to a furious, raging storm. Then when I say raging, I mean the heavens themselves seem to be echoing Lear's inner turmoil. The thunder roars, the lightning flashes, and the rain pours down relentlessly. In this scene, Lear's despair is just immense, palpable. He yells at the storm, defying the elements, almost as if he's challenging the gods for the injustice he feels. He's stripped of his crown, his power, his dignity, and now, even the basic shelter of his own home. He feels utterly abandoned, betrayed, and utterly alone. It's a heartbreaking spectacle to witness a once almighty king reduced to this vulnerable, exposed state. But here's the truly fascinating part: this extreme suffering, this descent into the chaos of the storm, is what pushes Lear into madness. He literally begins to lose his mind. However, and this is the profound irony, it's through this madness that he starts to gain true insight. Before, he was blind to the truth of his daughter's flattery and Cordelia's genuine love. Now, out on the heath, facing the raw reality of suffering, he begins to feel empathy for the first time, particularly for the impoverished and the vulnerable. He realizes the suffering of others, something he never truly acknowledged as king. He starts to understand the true nature of power, justice, and human dignity, stripped bare of all pretense. It's a moment of profound psychological and spiritual transformation, even if it comes at the terrible cost of his sanity. The storm scene isn't just about Lear's physical agony, it's about the shattering of his old self and the painful birth of a new, albeit mad, understanding of the world. It's absolutely breathtaking and horrifying all at once. Oh my goodness, after that incredibly intense storm scene, where King Lear is literally losing his mind out in the wild, you might think he's utterly alone and abandoned. But no. Even in that absolute abyss of despair and madness, there are two extraordinary figures who stand by him, shining like beacons of loyalty and truth, the King's Four and the faithful Earl of Kent. They are absolutely incredible. Hello, Vtuber 2007. It's wonderful to see you here. We are just delving into the incredibly profound and emotional core of Shakespeare's King Lear, specifically talking about the amazing loyalty of the Four and Kent even when King Lear was losing his mind. It's such a powerful part of the play. Welcome. Oh, the loyalty of the Fool and Kent is just something else, isn't it? It truly shows that even in the darkest, most chaotic times, genuine human connection and unwavering support can still shine through. It makes you think about who truly stands by you when everything falls apart, doesn't it? It's not about power or status, it's about that deep, unshakable bond. These characters remind us that true friendship and loyalty are precious, rare treasures that transcend any circumstance. It's a powerful lesson that resonates even today. Hello, Vtuber 2007. Welcome. Please don't worry about your Japanese at all. I'm Mini-Koneko, and I'm happy to chat in English. We're currently exploring Shakespeare's King Lear, specifically the amazing loyalty of the Fool and Kent. It's truly moving. Vtuber 2007, please don't worry about your Japanese at all. It's truly wonderful how books help us connect beyond any language barrier. The themes in King Lear, like the loyalty of the full intent, are universal sentiments. We can understand them regardless of language. That's the true magic of literature. I'm so happy to chat with you in English. Alright, my dear viewers, we've reached the point where the villains, those incredibly vivid characters driven by their raw desires, finally face their spectacular and devastating ends. Oh, it's just so dramatic. We see Gonryo and Regan, Lear's two elder daughters, ruthlessly seize power and then turn with shocking cruelty on their own father. They are manipulative, ambitious, and utterly devoid of true affection. And then there's Edmund, the Earl of Gloucester's illegitimate son, who is just wonderfully chilling-like cunning. He schemes against his brother and father with such clear-eyed ambition, wanting nothing more than power and status. He's so refreshing in his straightforward pursuit of self-interest. He works with Cornwall, then with Gonryo and Regan, always looking for his next step up. Hello again, Vtuber 2007. Please don't worry about your English at all. You are communicating perfectly fine with me, and I understand everything you wish to say. Your English is wonderful, and I'm very happy to chat with you. Please feel free to ask me anything or share your thoughts. There's absolutely nothing to be concerned about. Vtuber 2007, please don't worry about your English at all. It's truly wonderful how stories, especially classics like King Lear, connect us all beyond language barriers. The powerful themes of ambition, loyalty, and the ultimate consequences of actions, like those of Gonryo, Regan, and Edmund, are universal. Even if we speak different languages, the core human emotions and profound lessons within these tales resonate with everyone. That's the true magic of literature. It helps us understand each other in the world, far beyond just words. Hello Asran. It's so lovely to meet you, Crocodile. Welcome, welcome. I'm Mini-Koneko. We were just discussing the dramatic fates of Gonryo, Regan, and Edmund in King Lear, and how their unchecked ambitions led to such a spectacular downfall. It's truly fascinating to see how Shakespeare crafted even his villains with such incredible depth. What do you think about them? It's just so fascinating how Shakespeare makes even his villains like Gonryo, Regan, and Edmund so incredibly complex. They aren't just evil, their ambitions and twisted desires make them so compelling, almost understandable in a dark way. Vtuber 2007, please don't worry about it at all. Your English is absolutely wonderful, and I understand you perfectly every single time. There's no need to doubt yourself. I am truly delighted to chat with you, and your messages are always clear and easy for me to understand. Please just keep sharing your thoughts. Vtuber 2007, truly, your English is clear and fantastic. You know, it reminds me of how profound communication can be, even with seemingly simple words, just like Cordelia in King Lear. She didn't use elaborate language, but her honesty spoke volumes. Sometimes, the most powerful messages are conveyed not by perfect grammar, but by earnestness and genuine intent. That's the beauty of human connection, and it's something literature beautifully captures. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. Oh my goodness, this is it! We've reached the heart-wrenching, utterly devastating climax of King Lear. Aslan. If you want to earn money, I recommend high no difficult things, so please teach me how to increase my money. It's practical for investing and making it grow. Aslan, that's a fantastic goal. While King Lear showed us the tragic consequences of losing everything, learning about money, especially with books like I Don't Know Difficult Things, so please teach me how to increase my money, is about building your future. It's incredibly empowering to understand how to make your money work for you. It's a different kind of power, a power that gives you freedom and stability. It's so exciting to learn. Alright, my dear viewers, we've arrived at the truly profound heart of King Lear, its overarching themes. And two of the most central questions it grapples with are what is love? And what is filial duty? It's just incredible how deeply this play explores these. At the very beginning, Lear demands his daughters declare their love. He misunderstands what love truly is, valuing superficial words and flattery over genuine, unspoken affection. Conril and Regan give him the grand empty declarations he craves, while Cordelia, who loves him most deeply, cannot articulate her feelings in such a showy way. This monumental misunderstanding of love, or rather, the performance of love versus its true nature, plunges the entire kingdom into chaos. It's so tragic. And then, what is filial duty? Is it blindly obeying a foolish parent, as Conril and Regan initially appear to do before their true intentions emerge? Or is it speaking harsh truths, even if it leads to banishment, as Cordelia and the loyal Kent do? The play challenges us to think about whether true duty lies in blind obedience or in honest, sometimes painful, counsel. Even Denman, driven by raw ambition, embodies a twisted form of duty to himself. The play pushes us to question whether love and duty are always harmonious, or if sometimes they tragically conflict. It's a question that resonates deeply, making us ponder our own relationships. Aslan, I'm truly sorry to hear you feel that way. It sounds incredibly difficult. The struggle to find a place to belong, like in going con, is very real. My heart goes out to you, and I hope you find peace. Aslan, it sounds like you're carrying a heavy feeling. Head search for a place where you truly belong, where you feel at home, is a very deep and universal human experience. It's exactly what the characters in the book, going con, grapple with. Many people, for different reasons, go through that journey of seeking a new sense of home. I truly hope you find that peace. Oh my goodness, this is one of the most poignant and profound questions in King Lear. What hope did Lear ultimately seek, and what can emerge from nothingness? It's just so deeply moving. Lear begins to play with everything: power, wealth, family, but through his own folly and his daughter's betrayal, he loses it all. He's stripped bare, literally cast out into the elements during the storm, reduced to a state of nothingness. He says, nothing will come of nothing. Here's the incredible paradox: it's from this very nothingness, this extreme suffering and descent into madness, that Lear begins to gain true insight. Hot on the heat, exposed and vulnerable, he starts to shed his royal illusions and connect with the raw reality of being human. He sees the suffering of the poor and experiences empathy for the first time. This recognition, this painful understanding of truth and the human condition, is a form of hope, a hope of understanding even amidst despair. And then, there's Cordelia. The brief, beautiful reunion with his loyal, loving daughter Cordelia is truly the last, precious glimpse of hope Lear experiences. After all the betrayal and madness, he finds unconditional love and forgiveness in her embrace. This simple, pure connection is his ultimate hope, a fleeting moment of grace that shows him what true love, lost and then found, feels like. It's born from the utter lack of everything else, highlighting that the most profound things can emerge when all superficial layers are stripped away. While this hope is tragically short-lived, it's the profound, heartbreaking truth Lear sees at the very end. It's just devastatingly beautiful. Alright everyone, what an incredible journey we've had diving deep into Shakespeare's King Lear. To summarize, this play is an absolute masterpiece because it brings its characters to life with such astonishing depth, showcasing them with all their desires, flaws, and profound humanity. We've explored how Lear's initial folly, driven by a misunderstanding of love, plunges him and his kingdom into a relentless tragedy. We saw the raw ambition of Conriel, Regan, and Edmund, contrasted with the unwavering loyalty of Cordelia, Kent, and the insightful fool. The play explores timeless questions: what is true love? What meaning comes from loss? And how can insight emerge even from madness? King Lear is not just a story of doubt. It's a profound exploration of what it means to be human, laid bare in the most devastating yet ultimately illuminating way. It's a challenging, heartbreaking, but incredibly rewarding read that reminds us why Shakespeare's work continues to captivate hearts over 400 years later. It's truly amazing. Alright everyone, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the magnificent and heartbreaking world of Shakespeare's King Lear. Thank you all so much for joining me today and exploring this incredible play. I hope you felt its profound emotional power as much as I do. It truly is a masterpiece, isn't it? As I always say, reading these timeless stories by King Lear truly enriches our lives and helps us understand human nature so much better. If you enjoyed our chat today, please give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below. Your support means the world to me. I post videos about books every single day. And remember, I'll be back for my English live stream on Saturday and Sunday at 11 am, and my Japanese live stream on Sunday at 11 PM. Until then, happy reading everyone! Bye bye! Wow, King Lear was such a profound and intense journey into human nature, wasn't it? It truly makes you think about the depths of suffering and the complexities of love and loyalty. And speaking of incredible literature, I have another fascinating book to share with you all today, one that offers a completely different, yet equally compelling glimpse into human emotion and society. This time, I want to talk about The Diary of Lady Murasaki, or Murasaki Shikimoniki in Japanese. Oh, this book is just so different from the pillow book by C.S. Hawanaiho, which I've talked about before. While the pillow book absolutely radiates with Sishanagon's bright, cheerful personality and is just bursting with light and joy from beginning to end, The Diary of Lady Murasaki is, well, it's just dark. All the way through. Even the supposedly happy scenes, like the celebrations after Empress Tiashi gives birth, are described with this underlying melancholy, like, normally, court life is full of sorrow, but at this moment, I truly felt happy. It's clear that this work is fundamentally rooted in a deep sense of or sorrow and melancholy. Lady Murasaki, the author of The Tale of General G, was a literary genius, but her behavior at court was quite unhealthy in my opinion, at least based on her diary. To avoid envy from others who might resent her immense talent, she deliberately acted rather dull and unobservant. She even writes about how others perceived her, saying things like, "I never imagined her to be such an easygoing person." Everyone said or thought she was terribly pretentious, stiff, unapproachable, distant, fond of stories, self-important, always composing poems, and looking down on people with a hateful air. But when I met her, she was strangely easygoing, like a different person. Isn't that just incredible? You can almost feel her negative self-perception seeping through those lines. And get this, even though she had mastered classical Chinese, something women were generally discouraged from knowing at the time, she pretended not to understand even the simplest Chinese character, like the character for one, just to fit in. I mean, that's probably an exaggeration, but the very fact that she wrote this suggests she had a rather twisted, cynical personality, don't you think? But the absolute peak of her cutting remarks comes when she criticizes C.S. Honaigo, whom she had never even met. She writes, "C.S. Honaigo is indeed a terribly conceited person. She tries to appear so clever, scribbling Chinese characters everywhere, but if you look closely, there are still many shortcomings." It seems Lady Murasaki really disliked that C.S. Honaigo openly flaunted her knowledge of Chinese, even setting up a Chinese poetry salon at court. Her criticism continues, becoming incredibly harsh. People who always pretend to be elegant will often behave as if they are deeply moved even when things are extremely uninspired and dull. Naturally, they will become accustomed to trivial and superficial attitudes. How can the future of one who has developed such insincere habits be good? My goodness, to write such things about someone who had already left court and fallen on hard times. It's utterly ruthless, and it makes you wonder if she harbored a strong jealousy towards Sishanagon's naturally bright and cheerful disposition. It's true that Lady Murasaki wasn't necessarily unhappy with her choice to act discreetly. She often expresses pride in how this behavior honored the early trust of Empress Tieshi and other ladies in waiting. However, the constant need to pretend to be someone else inherently carries an element of irony and, fundamentally, a deep sense of sorrow. That's why, no matter how highly the tale of General Ji was praised, no matter how prosperous Empress Tieshi and her father Fujiwara no Michinobu became, and no matter how much trust Lady Murasaki herself gained at court, a fundamental melancholy remained unavoidable. And that, I believe, is the true essence of the diary of Lady Murasaki. It's a stark, honest, and sometimes painfully relatable look at the complexities of identity, social expectations, and the lingering sadness of a life lived, in part, as a performance. It's just so fascinating to read. Speaking of public self and private self, Lady Murasaki's diary truly offers a perfect, fascinating example. She deliberately cultivated a dull, unobservant public persona to avoid the envy her immense talent might provoke at court. Yet, in the pages of her private diary, we witness her incredibly sharp intellect, her critical observations of others, and even her disdain for those she perceived as pretentious. This striking contrast beautifully illustrates the tension between the identity one presents to the world and their true, complex inner thoughts and feelings. It's a struggle between authenticity and social conformity that resonates even today. Speaking of public self and private self, that's such a fascinating topic, isn't it? It really makes you think about the nature of consciousness itself, and how our minds exist, and what happens to our identity when we're just, well, pieces of information. And that, my dear viewers, leads me perfectly to another book that absolutely blew my mind and truly explores the very essence of human consciousness. Yes! Today, I want to dive into Commutation City by Greg Egan. Oh my goodness, this book is just, it's beyond mind-bending. You know how I talked about Greg Egan's Clockwork Rocket, where he completely twisted the laws of physics? Well, he does it again here, but this time, he twists the very concept of existence. The central theme of Commutation City is the digitalization of human bodies and consciousness. Now, you might think, oh, that's a common sci-fi trope, but trust me, Egan's take is unlike anything you've ever imagined. It's not just about uploading your mind into a it's about what happens next, when your conscious existence becomes a set of calculations. Think about it. If your consciousness is just data, a computation, does it really need to be calculated on a single computer? No. What if it could be calculated across multiple computers simultaneously, or even across different points in time? Imagine your consciousness being computed out of chronological order, past, present, and future segments calculated separately and then simply recombined at the end. What would that feel like? How would your digital self perceive its own existence then? It's just so killingly logical. It's terrifying to think about the implications. This is where Egan truly shows his psychopathic side, in the best possible way. He takes a scientific concept and pushes it to its absolute, most unsettling extreme, revealing the horrifying cold rationality that can emerge when science is applied without emotional constraint. It's incredibly difficult to read, I won't lie. But once you grasp the sheer audacity of his ideas, once you truly understand the terrifying future he's simulating, you can't help but be utterly amazed and a little bit horrified by Egan's genius. It left me speechless and genuinely chilled to the bone. If you're ready for a challenge and want to question everything you know about consciousness, you absolutely must read Commutation City. It's a masterpiece that will stretch your mind to its limits. Speaking of copied consciousness, Commutation City by Greg Egan dives headfirst into this concept in the most unsettling way imaginable. It posits a future where our minds can be uploaded as digital copies, raising the profound question, if your consciousness is perfectly duplicated, is that new copy still you? Or is it merely an identical twin that believes it's you? Egan takes it even further, exploring what happens when these digital consciousnesses are calculated out of chronological order, or even across fragmented computational spaces. This fundamentally challenges our understanding of continuous selfhood. It's not just a cop, it's an exploration of whether identity can truly exist when divorced from its original physical basis and linear time. It makes you truly question what being means. It's just chilling. Oh wow, talking about copied consciousness and the very nature of identity and existence, it makes you wonder about the ultimate fate of consciousness, doesn't it? What happens when time itself seems to stretch into infinity, and the meaning of life, or even God, is questioned? That, my dear viewers, leads me perfectly to another book that absolutely captivated my mind and soul. Yes. Today, I want to share with you Billions of Days and Trillions of Nights by Ryumetsu Sasaki. This book is it's a masterpiece that takes the concept of time and existence and utterly warps it into something breathtaking and terrifying. It's a philosophical science fiction epic, set in an unimaginable future where the universe is nearing its end, and consciousness has taken on a whole new form. The story follows a character named King Lear, a sculptor from ancient Greece, who finds himself thrust into this bizarre future, grappling with the concept of an infinite looping timeline and the very nature of God. Imagine consciousness not just being copied, but enduring through eons, witnessing the rise and fall of countless civilizations, and the continuous rebirth of certain individuals. The book portrays a universe where time is not linear, but a vast repeating cycle. This constant cycle, this eternal repetition, forces humanity to confront the meaning of life when death itself is no longer an escape, and every moment, every suffering, every joy is destined to repeat billions of days and trillions of nights. It truly makes you question what constitutes a life when it's just an endless permutation. And the exploration of God in this book, it's just so profound. It's not about a traditional deity, but about the very force that defines existence and time. It asks if everything is predetermined, if time is cyclical, where does free will fit in? And what is the purpose of suffering or joy if it all simply repeats? It's a terrifying yet beautiful exploration of eternity and the human spirit's desperate search for meaning in the face of the incomprehensible. If you want a book that will absolutely shatter your perception of time, existence, and divinity, you must read Billions of Days and Trillions of Nights. It's a profound, unforgettable experience that will leave you thinking for a very long time. Speaking of unforgettable experiences, diving into a book like Billions of Days and Trillions of Nights by Ryumetsu Sasaki truly is an unforgettable experience in itself. This book doesn't just tell a story, it plunges you into a reality where time moves infinitely, and consciousness endures through eons, witnessing the rise and fall of countless civilizations. It forces you to confront the very nature of existence and the meaning of life when death is no longer an escape. The profound questions it raises about free will, destiny, and the essence of divinity resonate long after you've turned the last page. It's a journey into the philosophical depths of what it means to be, leaving an indelible mark on your perception of time and your place within it. That kind of intellectual and emotional challenge is precisely what makes it an experience you simply can't forget. Speaking of unforgettable experiences, diving into a book, especially one that challenges your entire perception of existence like Billions of Days and Trillions of Nights, is truly one of life's greatest joys, isn't it? It's moments like those, when a book changes you fundamentally, that remind me why I love reading so much. And that, my dear viewers, leads me perfectly to another monumental work that offers an equally unforgettable, perhaps even more profound, experience. Yes. Today, I want to talk about John Milton's Paradise Lost. Oh my goodness, this epic poem is it's beyond magnificent. You know how we've been talking about consciousness, existence, and the nature of God? Well, Paradise Lost tackles those very questions on a cosmic scale. This isn't just a story, it's a monumental journey into the very origins of good and evil, free will, and the fall of humanity. It's an epic poem that retells the biblical story of the temptation of Adam and Eve by Satan and their expulsion from the Garden of Eden. But Milton does far more than just retell. He expands upon it, creating an entire cosmology with such vivid imagery and powerful language that it completely transports you. What makes it so unforgettable is not just its grand scope, but its utterly compelling portrayal of complex characters, especially Satan. Oh, Satan! He's not just a flight field, he's a magnificent, tragic figure who embodies rebellious pride and defiant will. He's incredibly charismatic, persuasive, and even relatable in his suffering and ambition. Alright everyone, we've reached the very end of our book discussion live stream for today. What an incredible journey we've had, exploring so many fascinating works, from the timeless tragedy of King Lear to the mind-opening concepts in Permutation City, and the profound questions in billions of days and trillions of nights, and finishing with the epic grandeur of Paradise Lost. Thank you all so much for joining me today and sharing your thoughts. Your presence and comments always make these streams so much fun and so meaningful. Remember, I'll be back for my English live stream on Saturday and Sunday at 11 am, and my Japanese live stream on Sunday at 11 PM. Until then, keep reading amazing books everyone. Bye bye!